So, Corey, how do you get better at flirting and small talk? What's your good ways to practice that and just good way to work on your game?
So I think the number one starting position always is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, because flirting and small talk is really just creating rapport with other people. And so it teaches you to take a sincere, authentic interest in the other person, ask them the kind of questions that they would enjoy answering, and getting them to talk. And after somebody talks for 10 or 15 minutes to a total stranger, you feel like you're talking to a friend because they're asking questions.
You have that personal questions. You get to understand them and learn.
What's the vibe of, like, hey, you run into an old high school friend at the grocery store. Hey, how you been? What have you been up to? And then you catch up. And so you talk, and that old friend listens. And so even though it's somebody brand new and you don't know, they're listening to you talk about yourself and your life. And quite frankly, we all love talking about ourselves and our life, especially when somebody wants to listen.
Yeah.
So it creates rapport because that person talks for a while and they feel like, oh, well, I've been talking so much. Well, what about you? Why don't you tell me about you? And now they're open to you. And now
I feel like that's also a great way to meet people too.
Yeah. And now you can influence them or sell them on whatever it is that you want, to buy your product or take a test drive or a date if you're asking a girl out, or an investor in a company if you're trying to raise money for a startup. So, and the most important thing is you gotta practice. So you get in the habit of just striking up conversations, small talk with people wherever you go, saying hello. Like Gracie was remarking that when she goes down the street, when you guys are doing on the street in-person interviews, that you're saying hello and hi, how you guys doing to everybody.
Yeah. Even if I know they won't even go, I already know they're gonna say no. I'll still give it a shot. It'll be fun. I like it. Or if like they have a shirt and I know like there's a cool shirt I like, I'm gonna say something about it. It's like, hey, I like that, whatever that shirt's referencing. If it's a sports team, a TV show, or something, I'm gonna try and spark a conversation off that. That's one thing. It's just fun. I enjoy it. So that's why I like to do it.
Yeah, use your surroundings and maybe how the person is dressed, or ask them questions about where you're at. If it's at an event that maybe you're at a gun show or something.
Yeah.
And there's because a lot of hot girls like to go to gun shows and stuff like that, because there's a lot of hot women that are in shape that like to do that kind of thing. And you already, if you're into the same thing, or maybe it's art, and you start talking about the piece of art or the art gallery or the art opening.
Yeah.
And so you got something in common that can create a nice conversation thread.
Yeah, it's good to have this, and you can just learn about it. A good baseline to use for the conversation. Okay, awesome.
Because the reality is, if the conversation doesn't flow effortlessly when you first meet, you're not going to go on a date.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to get any better in a date.
You just don't put all that work in for nothing.
If you can't, that's what's so nice about meeting people in person, or especially girls, if you're trying to date, is that you know right away whether you have chemistry and rapport, or she's just kind of like, leave me alone. Or she's open, or hey, I'm married, or I have a boyfriend, or
it's so much easier to gauge the attraction.
Yeah,
level.
you could tell how open she is to you by her body language, her looking you in the eyes and smiling, versus walking by trying to make eye contact, and you know that she knows, and she knows that you know that you're looking in her eyes, but she's not going to make eye contact with you because she doesn't want to give the impression that she's free or available or interested. I'm sure you've had that experience. Mm-hmm. You feel a guy looking at you and you just won't look at him because you're like,
usually
I don't want to.
It's the other way around, where I'm looking at them and they're not looking at me. But what I was gonna add to that is, nowadays with like online dating, for instance, like Tinder, like someone can slide into your DMs and have this great conversation and know exactly what to say, but once you meet them in person, it's like they freeze up, and it's because it's so easy to hide behind your phone screen, and it's so easy to think of your response before you send it, but you have to be able to have those like in-person, face-to-face communication skills.
See, I have the opposite problem. Online, I suck online talking to people, but like in person, 10 times better. That's the way I enjoy it.
It's your natural, like, comfortable voice, and it's like easier to talk.
No, I hate doing the online stuff. I hate all.
Because how are you supposed to slide into the DMs? Like, I never know.
Yeah.
But yeah.